Before 1776, the United States was a collection of 13 separate colonies, some of whom struck their own coins. Before 1871, Germany was a collection of 26 separate states, many of which struck their own coins too. I'll talk more about Germany in a future video, as today I want to talk about Canada. Before 1867, Canada was just Ontario and Quebec, and called Upper Canada, and also called Upper Canada and Lower Canada. The pre-1867 Canadian coins are all hard to find and rather expensive. This 1858, and if we can get a good look at it there, it says 1 cent, 1858, and the other side is Queen Victoria. This was Canada's very first 1 cent coin, and it cost me $150. So this is not one of the ones I would consider affordable. However, a year later, 1859, these ones are much easier to find. And this one, in fact, in its condition, very fine condition, with most of Queen Victoria's design still there, and I've got it upside down again. There she is. Most of the design still there, very fine condition, costs only about $15. Very fine, by the way, shortened to VF, and generally means that most of the details of the coin are still there. The other two provinces to join Canada in 1867 were New Brunswick. We can take a good look at that. Yeah, much of the design is gone on this little beauty, but there's the portrait of Queen Victoria. It's a little bit different than the Canadian one. And then there was also Nova Scotia, but I don't have an example of the Nova Scotia coins, unfortunately. I just have the New Brunswick, and like I said, very well worn. You could probably make out a crown in the center of it. There's a date below it, but the coin is so worn that you can't read the date. I could read 186, and the last number gone. Now, this New Brunswick one cost me only $1, and that's probably because part of the date is missing. And in average uncirculated condition, that is very good or fine condition, they're not that much more. However, the New Brunswick and Nova Scotia coins would be very hard to find, I think, outside of Canada. Not impossible, but hard to find. Next, Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island kind of resisted joining Confederation, and some people on the island today still resist it. They went ahead with striking their own coinage in 1871. Just the 1 cent, of course. The picture, if you can make it out there, is of a large oak tree next to 3 very small oak trees. This one you can get for less than $10. You might even find a well-worn one in a dealer's bargain bin. So, why did PEI change its mind? Well, in the early 1870s, the island ran up $4 million in debt trying to set up a comprehensive train system across the island. So, when Sir John Alexander Macdonald, Canada's first Prime Minister, offered to cover the debt if they joined Confederation, well, it was an offer they couldn't refuse. The last province to join Canada was Newfoundland. Here's a Newfoundland cent. Let's take a look at that. Again, if you make out the design there, the design is a pitcher plant. This is one of these plants that eats insects. Kind of cool. It finally joined Canada in 1949. That's how long it took before it joined. And it did so through the efforts of this guy, a guy named Joey Smallwood. However, nobody holds that against him. The Newfoundland had coins struck at the London Mint, most of them. Some were also struck in Canada and had a C mint mark, except for the 1942. This 1942 was struck in Canada, but the C mark, which is at the right, just below the pitcher plant, is not there. Someone forgot to put the C on it, even though it was indeed struck in Canada. As you can probably guess, the Newfee coins were struck in Canada in World War II due to the danger of German U-boats sending coins to the bottom of the Atlantic. Feuer! Ein! Ein Weg her. The Newfee small cents are the least expensive of the coins that I'm showing today. You can find them for like as little as $1, even less than that. You might even find them in dealer 25-cent bargain bins. They may be well worn. And I know that you might even find them in the United States quite easily, especially if you're in the northern part of the U.S. Now, for less than $5, you could get one of these. Only 15.5 millimeters. They are about the same size as a US half dime or a British 3-penny silver. These ones are sterling silver, in fact. That is 92.5% silver and 7.5% copper. Now, unlike Canada and the US, Newfoundland struck 20-cent coins that widely circulated. And they had the same value of a British shilling, which was probably the reason why these coins were so popular. However, Canada convinced Newfoundland to stop striking these after 1912. They circulated in Canada too, and were often confused with the 25-cent coin. No surprise there. The difference in size between this and a 25-cent coin is less than half a millimeter, or about 1/50th of an inch for my American friends. The least expensive years of the 20-cent would start at about $15, which is about what I paid for this little beauty here. Finally, we have the Newfoundland 50-cent piece. This one here is in this condition. If you can read it there, it's in VG, very good condition. Sells for about $25. Very good, of course, despite the sound of that term, is actually not a very high grade. It's pretty low grade, in fact. Letters and numbers are nice and clear still on a coin that is very good. And we turn it this way, you will see that Queen Victoria's hair is pretty much all gone. It's pretty much all worn away. And that is a coin in very good condition. Now, a little interesting history on the Newfoundland 50 cent. On my video about the Morgan dollar, I mentioned the loss of confidence in paper money in India during World War I. Apparently, this lack of confidence reached Newfoundland, and a large number of 50-cent coins were struck to be used for government assistance payments. I've not been able to determine if the 1917 and 1919 Newfoundland 50 cents were made from melted Morgans, but since they were all struck in Canada and not London, it seems unlikely. So, why collect them? These coins offer the opportunity to add some states to your collection that are no longer in existence, or at least not as separate countries. Some of them exist now as provinces, or states in the case of the United States. And this offers an opportunity also to get them rather cheaply. As I mentioned, the Newfoundland ones, you could pay less than $1 for any of these. So, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell. If you have any questions, please post in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for economical and collectible coins, please let me know. I just might have it in my collection and I'll be happy to do a video on it. And of course, mention the name of those who suggested it. So, thank you very much for watching and hope to see you next week.